All right, back on this Monday, and as we enter a new year, turns out last year was a pretty busy one for the Royals. Here with all the stats is Royal Expert Number Cruncher, Patricia Treble, as they call her in the Daily Mail. That was the title they gave you?
That is the title I've got in the British tabloids now, because I track the Royal. I've been tracking them for so long that they like using my data. So. Right. And it was a very good year.
Well, okay, well, let's break down that data if we can, because we got 10 working Royals who did nearly 2,500 engagements, and that is up significantly from last year.
It is up significantly. It's up 23% from last year. Now, last year, of course, was the year of illness, right? But that is a huge bounce back, led by the King. So the King was the number one. He did 533 engagements, up 50% from last year, more than he'd done in 6 years. And Kate was out. Kate did more than quadruple what she did the previous year. And it was really kind of a return to normal. I mean, this is kind of, we're coming back to the baseline, and that is a great trend to have going forward, because I think this is going to be a very busy year for them.
Okay. Meanwhile, for Harry and Meghan, the year doesn't look to be starting off all that well, particularly when it comes to Archewell Foundation. Yeah,
so what they did is if you've got bad news, you wait for a holiday and you dump it all out. I'm not saying they did this, but it's a pretty good tactic. Their charity released their latest annual filings. They gave away $2.1 million. It's a really small foundation, but their expenses were more than $5 million. And that is not a good ratio. So they have rebranded. It's now Archewell Philanthropies, and they're outsourcing the management. So what they did is they laid off the staff that was there. So they only have one part-time employee now for that charity, which is really what they really promote. You know, this is what they're doing, charity work. And not only that, though, their main comms person just left. She didn't even last a year. That is the 11th PR person to have left since they moved to California. And their longtime aide, James Holt, who'd been there since even before they went to California, he's gone. So they just kind of dumped everything out over the holidays because I think they're trying to reset for the new year.
All right. Usually it's known as the Friday news dump, right? And that way it gets buried over the weekend.
Or the
holiday, and you got 2 weeks. Yes. All right. Harry's lawsuit against the Daily Mail begins later this month. Soraya, what more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so this is the last of his lawsuits against the British papers for unlawful information gathering. It's him, and there's a half dozen of them who are suing. It's going to start next Wednesday, the trial, expected to go for, I think, at least 6 weeks. Unbelievably expensive. This is the one that each side is expected to spend more than $35 million. We're going to see Harry there. He has to testify. And this is going to be interesting because there's now stories that, remember we were talking about his security so much last year? There's talk that the new review means that he is going to be getting armed police when he's in Britain. Now, we don't know the extent of it. We don't know how it's going to work. But I think we'll get the first glimpse of it at that trial.
Okay, so we'll stay tuned for that. Yep. We also have the trailer for the King's new documentary, which features narration by Kate Winslet.
Yeah, this is going to be amazing. So it's called Finding Harmony, and it's about his environmental philosophies. And he's been an environmentalist since he was like in his early 20s, like since 1970 he's been talking about this. And he's got a whole philosophy about this, and they put it out. Now, this would have been unheard of 20 years ago. It would have been too political, but now it's part of common culture, right? We've caught up to him, and it's going to be airing on Prime on February 6th. And by all accounts, it's going to be fabulous.
All right. Look forward to that. Finally, we want to mention a big congratulations to Idris Elba, friend of the morning show. He was recently knighted.
This is wonderful. I've got to think his characters in Luther and The Wire, what would they think of Sir Idris? I think they'd be thrilled with him. I certainly am. He's a fabulous actor. So this is the New Year's honours that are put up by the British government. It's not the palace, but the government who gives it. And he did it. He got it for his acting, but he also got it for his charity work. And this is really important because he does a lot of work with youth knife crime, which is a really big issue in Britain. And he works with the King's charity, the King's Trust. And he's one of their ambassadors. And it's a youth organization, it's one of the largest in Britain. And Idris Elba got his start because he wanted to go into acting. He got a grant from the then Prince's Trust, and that started him down the path he is now.
Full circle moment.
Yes, exactly.
Very nice. All right. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you.